We have a lot going on. We have unusual options flow that we're going to go over in this video. We're going to talk about the positions that I'm currently holding on Tesla. We're going to also go over our trading bot on Tesla, which just took profits going into the close, and where I think we're going to end up at the end of this week, and then where I think we're going to see Tesla heading into the Robotaxi event. So if we take a look first, our trading bot did take profits today on Tesla, and it closed it out. You can see the alert within our Discord group at 4 p.m. It closed it at $261.61. Now, we basically run a 2% take profit. So what the bot will do is once it hits that profit, it's going to sell the trade. And then as long as our entry requirement stands into the next candle, it's going to open up another position. So as long as Tesla does not gap down tomorrow morning, the bot should open another position and continue to be bullish. Now, with that being said, it does not mean that there's anything bearish occurring with Tesla as to why it took profit. If anything, there's actually a lot of bullish things that are occurring on Tesla. The first being unusual call option activity. You're going to see on the black box stock software system that we have here at 3:59 p.m., right before market close, we triggered an unusual options alert. Now, in my unusual options flow course, which is completely free in the description, we go in a lot more depth on how you can read this unusual options activity and how you can use it within your trades. What I focus on is isolating the alert that came through, which you can see this is that option. And there's basically three things that we want to see here. Number one is going to be size. The second is going to be time. And the third is going to be the urgency of the buying. You're going to notice that this hits all three of those. It has time to it, basically meaning that these options do not expire within the next couple of days. This is not somebody who's day trading or looking at a short-term move. These expire in June of next year. The other thing that's very unusual is the strike price, very, very far out in the money at $560. You know that last week we saw calls that came through on Tesla for $470 strike price, which is very far out of the money, and those expire in December. So this buyer is going out 6 extra months, but almost doubling the strike price. So right now, Tesla would basically have to double in order to hit that strike. This is very, very unusual. The other thing is the urgency. So when we look at the details of an order like this, the key component we want to see at the end is _A or _AA. This means that the order was at the ask or above the ask. This is very important because this confirms the fact that this is bullish flow. This means that this person is not selling a call and making it bearish. This is 100% a bullish position that went into play. Now, the final thing we want to see is size. We want to see if these people are coming in with big money, and $1 million worth of calls on the Tesla options market is not that unusual, but for something this far out in time, it is definitely unusual, especially with all of the other call buying that we've been seeing over the past couple of weeks. So this is a very, very good sign as we head into the Robotaxi event and deliveries on Wednesday. Now, if we look at Tesla on a weekly chart, you're going to know that we have this liquidity level basically sitting from $255 up to about $268. And this level has been very hard for price to push through. But the more times that we test a liquidity level like this, the higher of a chance that we will what's called sweep or basically break through that level. Once that occurs, there is nothing stopping Tesla from moving back up to $300 and maybe even $350. On top of that, you have a couple of fundamental aspects to the company that are coming up within the next week. For instance, today we saw FSD on the Cybertrucks. We're also seeing FSD on semis, which is the thought of that long term is just crazy. And then on top of that, we also have deliveries coming up this Wednesday. We have Robotaxi event on 10/10. And then I think about a week or a week and a half after that event, we have earnings. So there's a lot of fundamental things coming up as we push into this liquidity level. And I do think that we're at least going to end this year for Tesla up at 300. I might have to start moving my targets a little bit higher. I was expecting 300 by the end of this year, 400 by the end of next year. And honestly, I might have to move that target to 320 by the end of this year and about 500 by the end of next year, depending upon how things play out. But looking at the weekly chart, you can see the BX trender as we push into the liquidity level is continuing to make higher highs on the weekly. The daily chart as well is continuing to make higher highs. And you'll also notice that even though our trading bot is taking a position off the table, I think there's a very high chance it's just going to reopen tomorrow. Because one of the things that the trading bot is focusing on is this market bias. And you'll notice that basically since Tesla has broken above it, there's a couple of times that we have short downtrends, but it will just continue to ride the market bias up the entire time. If you guys want to learn how to use this market bias indicator as well as the BX, the link to all of our courses are in the description. They'll show you exactly how to use these with the proprietary settings that I have. They're entirely free. You don't have to pay for them or anything, and you can get them on TradingView as well. So as far as Tesla's price action leading up into the event and deliveries, the main thing that I'm going to be watching is this 1 hour market bias. If price breaks this market bias, and on top of that, the daily chart closes with lower highs on the BX trender, that would be an indication that price is going to pull back before the event, most likely from deliveries. Most likely, and the worst case I'd say is about 8 to 10%. But I feel, and of course, I don't trade off my feelings. I trade only off of technicals. That's why I focus heavily on trading bots and scripts, because operationalizing your trading, in my opinion, is one of the best things that you can do. But I really feel that big money is not going to give retail the ability to get back in at a better price. Like Tesla has been undervalued for a very, very long time. And if you look at the weekly chart and the monthly chart, they have been building their positions out now for 4 months, right? We have 4 full months of bullish accumulation on this monthly chart. And so, yes, short term, we could see price pull back down to 220, but when you really look at this, we're just starting, in my opinion. And so while there might be a short-term pullback, I don't know if they're going to give it to us. I really don't. So that's why I've been so bullish on Tesla and I've been holding such bullish positions, even though I've been worried and taking into account the fact that Tesla might pull back. The fact is, I don't want to sit here over the next 12 to 24 months and watch Tesla up around 420 to 500. And I never got in because I was waiting for a 10% pullback. So I'd rather have at least something in, 50, 60% of my planned position as opposed to having nothing. If you want to learn more about all of the indicators that you see in this video, as well as the proprietary settings and the step-by-step trading system that I've built, you can take all of our courses completely free with the link in the description.